Hi, everybody. Thank you for stopping by Living To Do's review of The Shy, Season 5, Episode 10. This is the season finale, and it's called I Am the Blues. Before I get started with the review, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. So let's get started with The Shy. I'm sorry to see this go. It's sad to have the last episode, but we're going to start it off with Douda and Victor. They're in a car, an old car, driving behind some abandoned place. And Victor is in the passenger seat and Douda is driving. And Victor hears something in the back and he wants to know what it is. Douda keeps driving and he finally stops. They get out of the car. They're at the trunk. Douda opens the trunk and you hear a sound like someone's it's a muffled sound. And Victor is surprised that there's somebody in the trunk of the car. Douda takes a gun and he shoots the individual in the car. We never really see them, but by their actions we know what's going on. And Victor is not happy. He didn't want any part of this. You know, he's changed his life around and he asked to get back in the car, but Douda has Victor driving and he wants to know why Douda got him involved. And Douda says, because you got something to lose, because Victor is running for office and you can't have a murder on your hands in office. Well, you're not supposed to anyway. And Victor's mad. He's trying to do better for himself, but Douda tells him, you are who you are in the light because of what I do in the dark. What? Victor, people can run for office. They don't need to have dirty people behind them doing things. If it's meant to be, it will be. Why do you think that this man can't make it without you? Things can go on. What happens if you die? People can make it. Ugh. So the next scene was a little bit of a happier scene. Was Keisha and Emmett. They're on the couch reading to EJ because he needs a little help in school. The next scene we see is Rob and Tiff at their house with EJ, helping him with schoolwork. And then we have Emmett and Tiff getting together and they have a little talk. She told him that she told Rob about what she did, and Emmett told Tiff that he told Keisha what happened. And I don't know, at first Keisha looked a little like she wasn't really happy about it, and he says he's a changed man. I don't know if Tiff wanted to tell Keisha herself because she had mentioned that last episode, but she's leaving. She likes being open, she says, but not like that, like in an open marriage. She likes them to be open and honest and be able to talk to one another about what's going on, what's really going on. And as she's leaving, she reminds him that there's a parent-teacher conference. And he's like, oh, yeah, he's already on it. And he got it in his calendar, which is a new, something new for Emmett that Keisha recognizes. And like he says, he's a changed man. So, in the next scene, we see Simone and Kevin. They're in, looks like Simone's room. And there's a lot of cash on the bed. In total, there's like $6,000 that she's holding for him. And he wants to get his own spot with the money. And Simone says, you know, your mom is not going to let you do that. He says, then I'll get emancipated. They're just setting us up for the next season. Emmett's a good man. Kevin's going to get emancipated, living on his own, have new storylines coming his way. I just know that's the setup. I don't even know why this child would want. His life is not that bad at home to leave. You're going to be sorry when there's no one to cook and clean for you. Okay, and the next scene is Victor and Douda. They're talking because, things ain't right after what Douda did. And Victor tells Douda that, he's putting everybody in danger. And the way Douda sees it, he's protecting everybody. He runs it down. He's protecting Victor and Tracy and the Rock Center and Trinity House. You're protecting them from Douda. I think once you killed Douda and did what you did with him, that was fine. You didn't have to clue everybody in on it. Let that just be your thing and let things just, if you really want to help, get rid of the bad guy once and for all and let these people live their lives the way they see fit without your interference. The next scene we see Jada in exercise class, and she's not alone. She has Keisha, Tracy, Dre, and Nina. They're all there stretching. I don't know if it was just a yoga class or stretching class. And Tracy is asking why didn't she get a +1 for her on her wedding invitation, because her +1 would be Otis, who is Douda, and everybody knows we don't want Douda Otis hanging with us. And she's like, she didn't want any chaos at her wedding. It's understandable. You didn't even have to ask that. Nobody likes that man. Anyway, Jada offers up, why don't we all get together? Why don't we get together after the honeymoon, like a double date? And then it was Dre, who chimed in, why don't we go too and make it a triple date? And Jada's all for that. And Tracy knows that she just wants them there to have a buffer. And let them be comfortable. They didn't do nothing wrong. Just be in the man's presence that nobody wants to be around, who's a killer, and just be okay with it. What are we going to talk about? Nobody wants to be around him. The next scene we have Victor and Marcus. And Victor tells Marcus, which is Gemma's dad, that he tells him about what happened and that he feels like he's an accomplice because he is. The guy was breathing and he were there when he was shot dead. And you didn't tell anybody later, that's only going to get you killed. He knows better. So now he's an accomplice to the murder of Q. And they're talking about this tape. There was a tape of Douda beating up Marcus. I don't know if it was last season or the season before. And it really shows, I guess it was Marcus's home video. He had his house surveillance, and Douda is unaware, and he's just beating Marcus in his home. And there was this tape that they've been holding tight for when they need it for on a rainy day. And Victor says that when they release it, I guess it's in Marcus's possession, which would make sense. It's his house, your cameras, your tape. Marcus is going to get a signal from Victor when to release the tape. And Marcus also asks at this point about a political. He wants Marcus on his political team. Marcus is a good man, and it's a good look. Now, I don't know how that's going to work really well when Douda beat up Marcus, and how is that going to sit? Well, I don't know if Douda's going to have something to say about it. The next scene, we see Douda and Nuck, and they're going into a home, and it's Q's home. And I guess they're getting something they need, maybe some valuables, now that he's dead, and before, his family is wind of it, they can get some stuff or whatever they need. Maybe it's cat. I don't know what he was getting. He was getting some stuff. And Douda was sitting in a chair, and he sees a photograph displayed on a table of a man, Douda, not with Q, of Q and a man. And Douda asked Nuck, who's this guy in this photo? And Nuck says, that guy is Rob. That's Q's nephew. So that's something we didn't know. Rob's uncle is Q, and I guess it's his supplier. They do business. They're family, but they're just more business partners than close family. I don't know why you have a picture of Rob in your house like that. If you're not really family and you're just really business partners in a drug game, why would you display photos? Anyway, he says that, Nuck says that, yeah, he's in this weed business, and I guess that weed money somehow trickles back to Q and Nuck. And so the weed business has been good for Rob, therefore the money's coming in to Q, and now Q's gone. Douda tells Nuck, well, to go tell Rob that his uncle's dead, but his weed business is alive. So the next scene is Gemma and Maisha. They're at Smokey's eating, and they're discussing business deals. For her music and her rapping, but there's money that's needed to, I guess, studio time and what have you. And these two young girls don't have the money. So Gemma's going to do something about it. She's going to get the money somehow, and she's not going to let Maisha down. So we'll see what happens with that. Next, we show Nuck out in the street with his boys. They're outside at night, and this G-Wagon pulls up. Looks like it's Victor's G-Wagon, and somebody says, ain't that dude Trig? Because it's all tinted, and it looks like he's stopping at a light, and Nuck walks over to the car, taps on that window, and has a gun at the driver's face. The thing is, you don't see who the driver is, and then the window slowly comes down because Nuck is expecting to see Trig or Victor, and it's young Jake sitting at the driver wheel. He's the only one in the car, and Nuck is pointing a gun in Jake's face. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody's pointing a gun in Nuck's face. That somebody is Bakari. He's like super hood man coming out of nowhere, saving the day. And Nuck knew that Bakari is a killer, so he backed down. So there's just Jake and Bakari there. They kind of nod at each other, and Bakari walks away, and Jake drives off. So I don't know if that's going to amend the friend. And I don't know if they ever had a friendship, but if that's going to amend the fallout that they had. I guess we'll see next season, because I don't think they had any more scenes together after that. A little quick scene with Jada and Darnell. They're planning a wedding, and he comes in calling her, hey, Mrs. Robinson. That will be her new name when she gets married to Darnell. She's asking him if he'd prepared his vows. They're going to recite their vows at their wedding. I guess they're not doing just the traditional ones. They're going to read their own prepared vows. In the next scene, we see Fatima and Victor. They're talking about the announcement. The announcement is that Victor is going to announce that he's running for public office in his community. And she's really happy for Victor, but she tells him after that, I'm going to be leaving the city. I can't wait around for you. She's looking for her happiness, and she's not putting that on hold. And he just has this look like, don't leave. And he's saddened by her news that she's leaving. So something's kicking in his head. Next scene, we see Jake and Gemma. They're at Jake's house in his room, and Jake tells Gemma that Nuck pulled a gun on him. And Gemma wants him to tell Victor, but he feels that Victor has too much on his plate. He's running for office right now, and nothing happened, so he's not going to say anything. Gemma was leaving, and Jake wanted to know where she was going, and she says, I got to look for a job. She needs money, so she's off to look for a job, and she's going to go look at Smokies to see if they're hiring. All right, the next scene, we have the parent-teacher conference. And at this parent-teacher conference, all the adult people, parents and bonus parents are in attendance. So 4 people are at the school to meet with the teacher for little EJ. And the teacher tells him that he's made great progress, and everybody's happy about that news. And Keisha at some point tells the teacher, I make flashcards for him. He really enjoys it. I give him positive reinforcement. And the teacher's like, are you a teacher? She's like, no, but she's taken some classes on it, and she really likes kids. And the teacher says they're doing a great job. And then when they stand up to leave, she stops Keisha and she wants to know if she's interested in an opening, a teacher's aide opening. And she looks a little interested, and she's going to think about it. So I think that's what we're going to see her be doing in the next season. Because thank God they've been renewed for season 6. So as Keisha walks out, she's the last one to walk out. Everybody else is in the hallway. Right at the door is Tiff waiting for Keisha. And she wants to talk to Keisha. And she tells Keisha, can we talk? She goes, first of all, I want to thank you for helping my son with his reading. Keisha's like, you're welcome or whatnot. And she goes, I also want to apologize to you for pushing up on Emmett. And Keisha's like, why did you do that? Tiff said, I thought she just wanted to see if she could still pull him. He'd come her way if she asked. And she couldn't. And Tiff's like, I guess they're both surprised at his behavior too, that he turned her down. And Keisha's like, I can trust you with my, not Keisha, Tiff said to Keisha, I can trust you with my child. And Tiff says, can I trust you with my man? And, they agreed that everything's cool now. They're back together and they hug, which was nice to see the season end that way. It ended really nice for those two to be back on track. And no hard feelings. It looks like Tiff is not jealous. She got a love of her own, and she's happy for her friend Keisha to be back with her ex-husband Emmett. It is just such strange situations. Meanwhile, Rob and Emmett are sitting on a bench in the hallway waiting for the girls to come around, and they're not saying anything, and all of a sudden, Emmett says, we good? And Rob says, yeah. Because really, Emmett didn't do anything. And now, from what everybody says, you can trust Emmett. Next scene, we see Papa and Gemma talking at Smokey. She's trying to get a job. She's going to get a job, but her job is to clean the bathrooms and empty out the trash. Well, we know that Gemma is too bougie for that. She's like, I want to work in the cash register. I'm not good with smelly things. He basically told her, look, I got people who want this job. It pays. You want it, take it or leave it. And she's like reluctantly taking it. He's all, fix your attitude. Not Papa scolding Gemma. I love it. The next scene, we see Victor walking in Jake's room. He's ironing. Looks like he's making some t-shirts. And Jake, what's his name? Victor picks it up, looks at it. This is good. Who did this? And Jake's all, me. I did this. He made these t-shirts that said vote for Victor. They're for the announcement for people to wear. And they're all nicely done. He got a little skill. He might have a little career in t-shirt making. It's a nice skill to have. A lot of people were buy those t-shirts, and I know a lot of t-shirts are out there. We're inundated with t-shirt makers, but maybe Jake can find a niche and carve his way in the world with his little t-shirt making skills. Then we see the next scene, Tracy at her home, and knock at the door. It's Douda, and he has flowers. And he owes her an apology, and it's about the comment that he made about her son being gone, and like killing Q was nothing. And she said that he's the father of my child. And he's like, your child's gone. And that hit her wrong. It just hit her hard. He was insensitive. So he knows that he hurt her. He brought flowers. He tells her that he's going to have to step in for Q for a while. That means he might be gone. He might have to go. God, I wish. Anyway, I don't think Tracy really likes that idea, but... So the next scene we see Rashad. He's at what's her name? Deja's house. And looks like they've made up, and things are working out for them. And she's really happy about that. She loves the man that he's become. Yes, I do too. Let me just tell you, Jason Weaver playing Rashad is such an excellent actor. I love the facial expressions that he has, because in this moment he has something to tell Deja, and I know that something is that he slept with Tiara on Valentine's night when she left. The same night he told Tiara that she was good enough to eat, looked good enough to eat. So he tells her he wants to tell her something, and she goes, I want to talk to you about something. And he's like, you go first. And she's all, do you want to move in? And he's taken aback by that. Again, his facial expressions, fitting for this moment, perfect, excellent actor. Love this dude. And at first it looks like he doesn't want to, and so she's asking, that's what he wants to do, and he's like, hell yeah. And they hug, and she goes, now tell me the news you had for me. He's like, well, your news was so overwhelming and good, I forgot what I was gonna say. So unfortunately for a storyline, I'm sure the incident with Tiara and Rashad will come up in the next season, and I predict that Tiara is pregnant with Rashad's baby to blow up everything. Next scene, we have a knock at Rob's door at his home, and Rob goes to answer it, and it's Nuck. And Nuck is there to bring bad news. He tells him, not in a heartfelt way, I guess it's in a gangster way, your uncle's dead. Your uncle's dead. And he's like, I don't think he believes him. Nuck got proof. We got him, looks like he's in the trunk, tied up in the trunk where he was shot. And looks like someone took a photo of this, sent it to Nuck, and Nuck is showing Rob. Nuck tells Rob that Douda is going to be running things now, and you're going to get a call from him on a private number to make new business arrangements. And Nuck walks away. As Nuck is walking away, Rob's like, hey man, who killed him? And Nuck's like, it doesn't matter. Just as cold. Next scene, we have Tracy and Victor. Looks like they're at the center. And Tracy asked Victor, where's Q? And he's like, I don't know. But he says he does warn her that to stay away from Douda. There's stuff that he's not telling us. And he wants her to be safe, them all to be safe, so stay away from Douda. So the next scene, we have Victor. He walks away from Tracy, goes into an office to make a call, and he calls Marcus. He tells Marcus it's time to release the video. Oof. So I guess Marcus kind of wants to do this, so the video is going to be released. The next scene, we have Lene and Kevin, and they're in her room, and Kevin is telling Lene, I want to move out. I want to be on my own. She feels trapped here, and Lene says, your moms are not going to let you move. Then his mother and Dre come in the room, and they're all happy. They got a piece of paper in their hand. Dre has a piece of paper in her hand. It's the adoption papers for Lene. I didn't know they were planning on adopting her, because we didn't see much backstory with that, or a lot wasn't said. I guess things were happening in the background. So the adoption papers are here, and they're hugging Lene. It's so they're so happy for her. Kevin at first is just sitting there, and they look at Kevin, and he's like, I think he's thinking to himself, I better act like everything's okay. And he gives them all a big group hug and tells Lene, welcome to the family. In the next scene, we're at Smokey's, and Emmett is there, and he's closing up. And somebody comes in and to the restaurant, and Emmett's back is to the person. He's like, oh, we're closed. And I guess the response he got, he turned around and he saw that it was Douda. Douda and Nuck both come in, and Douda is offering, he's asking, you want to ever expand Smokey's? And he will when he has some money, basically. Emmett is in luck because Douda wants to be an investor. And I know Emmett knows this man had dealings with his friend Brandon seasons back. And he knows this man is not a good man. Even the way he's talking to him. He's very leery of this man. And he wants to know what's the deal? And he goes, well, I've never been a good man, but I can make you a rich man. And I just know. And this is what he tells him. If you trust me, I will make you a rich man, is what he says. And I know he knows not to trust this man. All money ain't good money. You know this firsthand. You don't get in bed with the devil. No good is going to come of this. I'd rather scratch and barely survive than take the money of a drug man or any illegal dealings. It's just not worth it. Haven't you seen time and time again all the many examples of people that do this? Ugh. Okay, the next scene we have Rashad at Victor's house, slowly walking out of a door, through the house. He has a box and a bag. Looks like he got his belongings. And he crosses a room that Victor's in. Victor's like, where are you going? And Rashad goes, I'm going to Deja's house. She asked me to move in. And Victor's really happy for him. And they're hugging each other. And Rashad tells Victor, thanks for not giving up on me. And then Rashad said, thanks for bringing me back to life. Those are good friendship. They're good friends. You were troubled kids growing up, and you both came out of it, and you're better off. You're just better men. I love it. I love to see that. The next scene we see Gemma and Marcus. That's her dad, Marcus, and he's in his office. She comes in and she wants her college money so she can start her music career, behind the scenes as a manager. And Marcus is like, are you crazy? I'm not going to let you do that. He put a lot of money into this. They've talked about college, and I was happy to see Marcus put up a fight about something. Don't let this kid run all over you. And then she sets her argument that, that the diploma has no value to her anymore. She doesn't need a college degree. And he, within minutes, told her he'll give her a portion of her college fund for this endeavor that she wants to do, to make something out of herself, and she got a year to do it. If she can't do it, she got to go to college. So I thought he gave in too soon. I would have been a no. I don't know. You can pick up this conversation some other time and let her figure a way to do that, but tell her no. The next scene, we see Tracy. I think she's in at the office at the center. There's a big screen TV on. The news is on, and right when the news is on, they have the tape of Douda beating his a man that he worked with in his political office, Marcus Saint. What is his name? Marcus St. John, beating him. It's on the news, and Tracy is horrified. I mean, who wouldn't be? To see the mayor of your city beating someone that works under him was terrible. At the same time, they shoot this a shot over at Douda's house. He happens to be sitting on the couch watching the news and mad that he throws his glass of brown liquor that he was drinking at the wall. He's upset. He was going to leave town, but now he wants to stay in town. I think this is a good time to leave. Of course, Douda is mad. He needs somebody on the streets, somebody young and unafraid. And Nuck was in the house when this was all happening. And Nuck has the perfect person for this job. So they get in the car and they look for this person on the street. And sure enough, some guy's walking on the street. They stop him and they offer him the job, and it's Bakari. They want Bakari to have his eyes and ears on the street. I don't know what he's going to do for Douda just yet, but they give him a wad of cash. And at first, Bakari was reluctant to do it. He's no snitch. And somehow they, put the money in your face, and you're a person with no money, really no means. He was taking packages off people's porches and then selling it and making money this way. And now he has a wad of cash. Next thing we see, Bakari going into Smokey's, dressed real nice with his cool sunglasses, walking in, and Papa and Lene are sitting at a table. And they know he's up to no good. Lene goes, "It's probably something illegal." She don't mess with criminals, she told him. And he reminded her, "Your brother's a criminal. Well, you mess with your brother." Ooh, that pissed her off. She got up from her seat and walked out. Man, he put his foot in his mouth again. This was a new friend, a new girl you've been smitten with, that you had a little sweet kiss with. She was in your corner and you say something like that. She only wants the best for you, and this is not what she wants from you. She's want, if you were going to be a writer and make money that way, that's great. But to take money in an illegal way is so unattractive. Anyway, Tracy gets a knock at the door. It's Douda again. He goes to her house, and she has seen the tape, and I guess he knows that she's seen the tape, and she says, "I can't trust you." And he tells her somebody has to be the bad guy. Criminals just bore me. They just bore me. If you want to do some good, do some good. Even if you want to be a vigilante and kill off the other people. But his tactics are just wrong because his ego is so big. The next scene, we're at a wedding. It's Jada's wedding, and walking her down the aisle is her son Emmett, so cute. And he walks her down the aisle to his father, Darnell. And I noticed that something was not in attendance at the wedding, and that thing was Darnell's earpiece. Oh, he left that back somewhere. Happy to see him without it. He looks ridiculous with it. But at the wedding, Darnell gave a heartfelt vows to his bride, Jada, and it was nice to see him different. It was nice to see him emotional because he teared up saying his vows to her. And I know he meant it. He was just totally different. So sweet. After all these years, he still has love for her, real love. And, they're going to share a hopefully happy life together. And they have a beautiful son together already and grandkids. So they got a whole life. So after their wedding vows, they turn around and jump the broom. After that, they had the bouquet toss, and Keisha caught the bouquet. So is she gonna marry Emmett next season or in the near future? I hope so. That'll be just perfect. At the wedding, they were dancing, and Emmett's dancing with Keisha. He's dancing with Tiff. He's dancing with everybody. They had a good time. It was a backyard wedding, and it was just very, very sweet. Darnell walks Jada to the front of the house, and he tells her that he bought her the house. And she is surprised. So am I. Where did this man get all this money? He was always a cheapskate, but you got 101 kids. How were you able to save money to buy a house? And she didn't know it. And he leads her inside to take a look. We didn't get to see it, so that's something we're going to see next season. Oh, I'm so happy. So perfect. So what a perfect ending for their love story. Later, maybe the next day or sometime later, we see Emmett talking to Keisha. He bought the painting. It's on their wall. I just knew that painting was going to get up on the wall. Of course, Keisha wants to know, where did he get the money for that? And he says, I got an investor in the business. And he does, and she's like, who? And he does let her know that it's Douda. And she's not happy because, he had something to do with Brandon's murder. He's no good. He's just no good. And I guess he's, asking for her to trust him on this. This is the setup for the new storyline. I was just hoping to see Douda. I'm not to see Douda at all. And my heart goes out to it because I know some terrible business, some terrible interaction, probably even a death or two is going to happen because this man is in their lives. So the next scene we see Kevin. He's talking to his mother, Nina and Dre. And he tells them, I want to move out. Nina's like, no, you're not going to move out. Then he goes, I'm going to get emancipated. I got all the paperwork. It's pretty much happening. And they're like, what? They can't believe this guy. They said they offered, if you want to do something, you can pay us a little bit money to go towards the mortgage, and we'll give you a little bit more freedom. He's like, he ain't checking for that. He wants to get out. He has his money. And the thing is, he has $6,000. That doesn't hold you over for life. You're going to need a constant stream of income because $6,000 in the whole scheme of things ain't nothing. That'll take care of you maybe for a month, 2, maybe 3 months, 4 months if you play your cards right. But you're going to need to be generating income. There's no guarantee that this gaming thing that you're doing right now will continue to make money. And, it's good money right now, but it may not last. And then what are you going to do then? I mean, I guess you could come back. I don't think your mother would leave you out in the street, but you got to hold your head high that you weren't able to survive. I don't expect you to survive out in the streets of Chicago by yourself at, what are you, 15, 16, 17, 8? I mean, you're not 18, so you're underage. That's just really tough for an adult. So it's going to be really tough for, a young boy in high school. Later we see Jake and Papa pull up at Gemma's house. Maisha's also in the car. And when she pulls up, Papa's in the front. She's like, what are you doing in the front, Papa? And Papa's like, get in. She gets in the back with Maisha. And Jake turns on the radio and we hear Maisha's song being played, and they're just excited about it. Of course, Maisha's music, she's excited for herself, her friends are excited for her, and it was just a nice moment to see. They happen to be in the car at the same time when it's played on the radio. Cool, cool, cool. In the last scene is the stage for the announcement that Victor is letting everybody know that he's running for city councilman. And actually, it's Tiara that is introducing him to the crowd. And he gives his speech. And in his speech, he comes clean. He says that Tiara and him are not in a real relationship. It was a fake relationship done so to make people think that he was the stand-up guy. He's a good guy, and he wants people to know the real him. And he wants to let them know he's in love. And he beelines it to Fatima, who just recently walked in the room. And he plants a kiss on her. And she's so happy that she's been claimed. I don't know if the people know right away that she's a transgender woman. I'm sure some people don't know. Some people do. And when he did his speech, when it was all over, it was like nobody clapped really. Rashad looks around and he starts clapping slowly. And then the whole audience or people there in attendance started to clap. And that's when he walked down to Fatima and planted a kiss on her. And then he turns away, he looks dead into the camera, and he just stares into the camera. And that was the end of the episode, of the season, of summer. That was it. So it ended nicely. I thought for sure somebody was going to die other than Q, one of the main characters, or something more explosive. But as long as we got Q out of the way, one down, one to go. That's the way I look at it. But that is it for now. That was the season finale. I really enjoyed watching the show and reviewing the show. I thank you for staying with me till the end. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment. Thanks again. I gotta go because I got living to do. Bye.